So Jefferson was not only against the clergy, he was not only against the idea of Jesus Christ being the Son of God. He was not only against the idea of a virgin birth. He was not only against the idea of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. He was not only against the God of the Old Testament, vehemently, but he was also against much of the Bible. And this right here you'll see is the Jefferson Bible. If you've never seen this, this is pretty interesting. But this is the Bible by the man who wrote about God in the Declaration of Independence. This is the Bible of the man who wrote about God in our inspired founding documents. This is his Bible. What's his Bible look like? Well, his Bible is all cut up, if you can see here. You see it. He actually made his own Bible. This actually sits, I believe it sits at Monticello, where you can see it. I know it's on display. It's somewhere, maybe the Smithsonian. It's somewhere. But you can see the Jefferson Bible. And he called it the Life and Morals of Jesus of Nazareth, extracted textually from the Gospels in Greek, Latin, French, and English. And as you can see here, he took scissors to the Bible. I don't know. Do you know anybody who's actually cut up a Bible? The only person that I know who's ever cut up a Bible is the one who wrote about God in the inspired documents of America. That's the only person I know of. I don't know anybody else bold enough to take scissors to a Bible. Do you? Have you ever met anybody who cut up a Bible and cut out the parts that they didn't like? Have you ever? Well, Thomas Jefferson did, and he is the founding father who wrote about the God that you fight for. He's the one who wrote about the God who gave you rights. Okay? This is the guy who did it. He cut up his Bible. What did he cut out? He cut out everything he didn't agree with. Specifically, anything to do with miracles about Jesus. He despised the idea that Jesus did any miracles. He thought it was blasphemous. He thought it made no sense to his reason. He couldn't understand it. And guess what? That's exactly what Jesus said. Many people won't understand the kingdom. They'll fall by the wayside. They're not going to be saved. So it's not surprising that Thomas Jefferson and his hatred against Jesus and his hatred against the God of the Old Testament. And now when I say hatred against Jesus, I'm talking about hatred against the historical Jesus, not to his version of Jesus. He liked his version of Jesus. He liked the version of Jesus that wasn't born of a virgin. He liked that guy. He liked the one that didn't rise from the dead. He liked that Jesus. So people say he liked Jesus. I heard preachers say he said good things about. He said good things about the Jesus that he liked. He cut out scriptures and got rid of the things that he didn't like. So he did not like the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He did not like Jesus Christ, the triumphant. He liked the Jesus that he made up. Okay, so again, it's slippery slope. I know there'll be some who says, "Oh, Jefferson, he read the Bible." Yeah, he read the Bible. He cut up the Bible. So now, what I want to ask you is this: why do we give him a pass? Is it because of his skin color? In other words, let me ask you this. If someone founded a country and they said the things about Jesus that Thomas Jefferson did, or the things that many of these John Adams didn't believe in the Trinity. John Adams didn't believe that Jesus was born of a virgin. I mean, go through the list. What qualifies to be a Christian for some people is just like low bar, right? Just literally, did he read the Bible? Okay, he must be a Christian. I mean, literally, that's all that matters in the 18th century, apparently. Because we're trying so hard to make it a Christian nation. It's so important because we're killing for it. So if we're killing, we better hope that it's a Christian nation, right? Because that would be terrible if we're killing people and it's for another God. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? So we have to force Jefferson to be a Christian. We have to force Benjamin Franklin and George Washington to be Christians. It has to be. We have a vested interest in making sure that it is. So if another country had started and you learned about the founders of that country and you found out what they said about Jesus and you noticed that they didn't put Jesus in their founding documents, would you think they were a Christian nation? You see how deceiving this is? How does this guy get away with being a Christian? How does that happen unless you just have no discernment? I mean, zero, zilch. How does this guy get a pass? Is it his skin color? I ask you this honestly. If anybody has an answer to this question, I'd love to know. How does Thomas Jefferson get a pass? How does this happen? How is that even possible? How can the man cut up his Bible and it's on display? We can see it. And they're like, yep, he wrote about nature's God. He's talking about Jesus. And the pastors and the preachers and the pulpits all said, yeah, Thomas Jefferson's preaching about Jesus. Thomas Jefferson was talking about Jesus in the what? How dumb do these people think we are? We can read. We can see. We have eyes to see. Come on. It's nonsense. You don't get to get away with this. We don't get to say that Jesus and nature's God are the same thing, that whenever Thomas Jefferson writes nature's God and the laws of nature, that he's talking about Jesus Christ in any way, shape, or form in the way that you know him. He's not talking about a risen Jesus Christ. He's not honoring the risen Jesus Christ with his words. The documents are not talking about Jesus Christ. In fact, I did a teaching on this. You can go to truerichesradio.com/nature's God, and I compare Jesus and nature's God. They're not the same thing. They can't be the same thing. It's impossible, literally, biblically. So when you're thinking about nature's God, ask your preacher. Say, preacher, is nature's God Jesus Christ? Make them answer. And they'll probably tell you yes. Sure it is. Right? Ask them. Send them to this video.